Black Spring with Autumn on your Sunday. And I guess what I want to do is I want to give you guys a couple minutes to come in here. But what I also want to do is I want to try to, for those of you that may have tuned in yesterday or whether you came in at the 11th hour, I don't remember how, thank you for tuning in also, by the way. But I entitled this particular stream Language because I always say language matters. It does. And yesterday we were talking about, I think, some of the dynamics regarding this Carlee Russell case. But what I stumbled onto, which I found was interesting, and it came from, I do believe this is another Alabama attorney. I think he goes by the name of Eric Guster. And Guster pointed out, I say this all the time, here again, language matters. So this is why I think that there is something more here going on. That there's another, that this could spark something else. And I think that, to me, that's where I want to go. I want to tell you where I think this could go. But he mentions that language matters, and he says, they say, she said there was a kidnapping that happened. No kidnapping occurred. They said there was a child missing. They cannot corroborate that. And so Guster, I'm paraphrasing, you can look it up. Guster says that they're using every synonym except for she lied. Now these are the authorities that he's referring to. These are the authorities that Guster is referring to, because Guster said he got pulled into this case. So, we talked about yesterday people getting dragged in or pulled in, but he says, he lays out, what of course she could be charged with. I think it was theft, filing fake reports, that kind of a bit. But I talked to you guys yesterday also about Lady Justice being blind, allegedly, right? So I figured, well, if Lady Justice is in fact blind, then something is going to come out of this. But I'm telling you, if it does, I think it could be, what better way could it be to what better distraction, what better location in the country than to go to the southeastern United States, go to 100 miles north of the cradle of the Confederacy to kick off a riot, a new pseudo riot, a new age riot. Because some people are going to rally on the side of, oh well, she's got these kinds of problems, da 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 da, and some people are gonna err on the side that justice needs to be served. So I'm just thinking, with all the chaos, when you look at the Chicagos, and race is one thing. Race is something that they fan the flames regularly in these more liberal states and more liberal cities, like the Chicagos, the Los Angeleses, the Milwaukees, the Minneapolises. Okay, so what better way? This is never let a crime involving a black person go to waste. What better way than to kick off a race war than to use the dynamics of this Carlee Russell situation to kick it off? Because some people, oh well, you didn't do this to this person, and there, the precedents in this case, because I'm going to tell you, because I told you guys this yesterday, I certainly don't think this is going to be handled in the same way as just a Jussie Smollett or Jussie Smollett, whatever. It's not going to be handled like that. That Kim whatever is not the, she's not the the defense. She's not she's not representing this Kim, can't think of her name, Kim whatever, out of Chicago is not the person that's going to be representing. Now, I don't know if they'll call in a Benjamin Crump, but I'm telling you guys, there is, if there's any staging or to me, this thing was premeditated, okay? Because the fact that all the records show, they've got records that show, to me, this is not my domain of competence, but intent. You can prove there was some intent, right? Because when you start researching stuff, that's premeditation, and your intent is to create. You were trying to create this crime. You were looking for tutorials. You're not writing a film, but you're looking to recreate something. So I'm just saying, what if this is the order out of chaos is real, if the agenda is real, is this that opportunity for them to kick off another race war, or to kick it off on account of this action here? Okay, so I don't know. Is it going to happen because they can't get her off? Or, I'm just saying, to me, I think that the environment it's an environment, and it's a place that they want to do. There's a lot of people, like I told you guys, there's a lot of bias, in the elite try their best to pick on the intelligence, the competence of people in the South. And what better way? Because you'll have to tell, well, they're gonna hinge, it's a lynch job, it's a linchpin for this black girl, da 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 da. I'm telling you, I think the climate is right. I think it's right for them to try to pull something off like that. They've pulled it off in these other liberal cities, liberal states. Floyd, they've pulled it. You've had all these other incidents, but you've never had a black female in the state of Alabama. You've never had anything like this. So there is opportunity. Like they said, what was it? Rahm Emanuel says, never let a crisis go to waste. Never let a crime go to waste that's involved with a black person involved or an African American involved. They're not going to let that kind of thing go to waste. So I think, I don't want to say they're tiptoeing around this thing, but I think some developments there's some things going to be happening, I think, coming up probably this week. Also, shout out to Mr. Pierce, said somebody's birthday is on the horizon. So I don't know if they're going to stall it out, if they're going to stall it until August. It looks like they're already stalling. Whether the parents are out here saying, oh, we're not going to be bullied, da 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 da, we can't talk right now. Oh, the fragility, the mental fragility is at stake here. Are they going to stall it out until August? So we're going to see. I'm just saying, this is one to watch for sure. As they say, watch how they move on this. And to me, the authorities are moving a little suspect. Which way are they going to go? Are they going to try to do a slap? They're going to do an unprecedented slap on the wrist? Or are they going to prosecute this situation to the fullest extent of the law? Now that, to me, is going to be worth watching. It's worth watching anyway. So I appreciate you guys, per usual. For those of you who came in yesterday, hi Void, how are you? Thanks so much for tuning in. So yeah, we're gonna see what happens with this situation. I don't imagine that it's definitely unprecedented, and we're gonna see what the law does and how the state of Alabama handles this case. Like I said, not only is the world watching and the rest of the country going to watch it, but the residents and the people of the state of Alabama are watching it too. They're watching the way this is handled, And yeah, I think it's, but like I said, I think there's an opportunity here. There's an opportunity to get the nation to turn to this part of the country and to incite something that hasn't been seen in at least 2 generations. That's what I believe. I believe that this is, they want to see what they can do with this. No matter which side you're on, I think you're going to see they're going to fan the flames on both sides. I do. Good morning to TMK. How are you? I appreciate you guys so much for coming in yesterday. And as I was perusing the halls of Lowe's Home Improvement is where you found me yesterday. But there's a ton of things going on. But I think there's a very specific reason why this has happened. Do you guys realize that I think, and I've said this since 2020, things were not going back to the way they used to be. No. Everything you see from here on out, dare I say, I'm going to go a stretch here. New viruses are being invented, new afflictions are being invented, and new crimes and unprecedented crimes. I think we're going to see that for some time to come. And I said that, and I'm saying that in reference to, since the CV-19, you can see, you might see anything, but it's all going to be, to me, for the agenda of the creating order out of chaos. Okay. But yeah, we're talking about towns that are, a little bigger than armpit towns. You don't typically have these kinds of things happening in armpit towns. So all of it's suspect to me. The fact that it's even happening in a state like this is suspect. It's suspect to me. So we'll see what happens. In fact, not to mention that guy, I don't know the guy, was wearing a freaking purple suit. He was wearing a purple suit. Purple and what is it, the Tiffany blue that Mr. Pearson talks about? Dripping. The dude looked like he was coming out of a... he looks like a freaking game show host. But shout out to Guster, Eric Guster, that says, they're using every synonym but lie to describe what happened. So there again, like I said, language matters, people. And to me, the language lets you know we are in a new realm, there's a new paradigm, folks. It's a new paradigm. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. So yeah, I just wanted to share those bits with you. And as I was saying yesterday, I want to talk about this situation. Like, I've talked about people they talk about the South. There's stigma related to the South, but the state of Alabama gets a stigma like no other. Look at the way the material that Hollywood has come up with about Alabama. Usually it's the whole barefoot pregnant women thing. Oh, nobody, very little education. Now, what I will say when it comes to education, the same system that the heavy hand of the government that's on every other state is on the state of Alabama as well. They're still being run, education systems are still being dominated by state education testing. And yeah, to me, it's an experiment. So when you talk about education, to me, these education rankings, to me, the system is already manipulated. So the ranking system is manipulated. So you can't really look at it as causation. The correlation and causation, to me, doesn't work. Okay. But what I'm saying is a lot of people are not given, the elite try to run the narrative about people from the South or the post-Confederate, the post-whatever Reconstruction South or the post-Jim Crow South being uneducated. Yet most of the people in the South vote for them. Okay? Now, you got it. They own them. Okay? They totally own them. I can't deny that, but I'm saying the elite always, even you can go as far as Canada and hear people trying to get their digs in Alabama. I'm like, okay, I've never heard people opine so much on a state in a country that they've never even lived, that you're not from the state, U.S. So everything, most of the things that they're speaking on is what they heard from somebody else. You know, it's not a genuine experience. It's based on some elitist ivory tower, or some of these egghead elites controlling black folks, or either controlling the narrative as far north as as our hat neighbors above in Canada. They all basically talk about Alabamians like they don't have, like, oh, they're just, let me just put it out here, poor white trash. Okay, that's what they would like to say. The next time an elite is getting their digs into the state of Alabama or either a southern state, that's exactly what they want to say. They'd love to refer to the same racism that they pretend they protect is the same racism that they use to talk about blacks, as well as the hillbillies. Hillbillies is what you'll hear elite referring to white people as. Elites, they'll refer to them as rednecks, hillbillies. That's what the elite want to say. Okay, they try to gussy it up and try to make other sneers and snares, but people that are familiar with that know Alabama or from Alabama already know. I've been many places and I've seen it, and you get that from the elite. You won't get that from people that are. You won't get that as much from people that are from the state, from the other southern states. No, you won't, because they don't have a respect for them either. And that's how you know history is his story, and it's twisted and it's manipulated. I just want to give you guys some points to think about. Hopefully I said something slightly stimulating, and definitely this Carlee Russell situation is one to watch. I want to see what's going to come out of it. I want to see if they're going to make a martyr out of her. If the agenda is dark and to create order out of chaos, are the powers going to make a martyr out of her, or are they going to make it a slap on the wrist? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I will see you guys later. I just wanted to, offer a little bit of, I've had somebody insult me personally when it comes to, Alabama. So I'm saying I know that the bias is real, and I know that but I know where it comes from. So you guys have a great rest of the day, and I will talk to you later. Thank you so much, Void and TMK Media, for coming in.